Welcome back to Two Brothers Comics. I'm Dustin.
And I'm Nick.
And we're here to do a recap of our 2020 goals that we set last year. If you're interested in seeing how we did, if we met the goals or not, hit the like button while the intro plays. Stay tuned.
So what kind of coffee are you drinking tonight?
I think this is like a Folgers. My wife made it. It's pretty good. Got some Dunkin' Donuts regular creamer.
Lots of sugar.
Yeah, it tastes way better in a Captain America cup.
Well, mine is also Folgers that your wife made with Dunkin' Donuts creamer, but no sugar because I don't like sweet coffee.
But it's way better than Mocha Express.
It's pretty close.
I think so.
Amanda's coffee, the official coffee of Two Brothers Comics that's unofficially official.
That's right.
Just like Starbucks.
Absolutely.
All right, so
our 2020 goals, man. We did a video last year. It was one of our first videos we did. Yep. We sat down and, I'll say this. I sat down and watched them. I wrote down what our goals were. And I didn't want to really, tell Nick where we were at because I want to kind of get a organic response from him. So we're going to go through our goals and we're going to talk about which ones we hit, which ones we missed, and maybe which ones we changed.
Yep, absolutely.
So first things we're going to talk about here is books we wanted to pick up through the year.
I have no clue what I said.
All right. This is great. I'm excited about this.
Now, I couldn't even tell you. The only thing I honestly couldn't tell you one book.
Well, I'll tell you, you did okay.
Okay.
You did okay. My first one, I started off with and this was funny because this was before we were associated with and even introduced to Biggie Shack, who talks about bangers.
Yep.
And we were still under the impression that I had come up with this when we were doing Facebook sales.
Yeah. And I had the little banger alert coming in.
Right.
Superman.
So I said, man, the first one I want to pick up is the big banger for the year for me. And I said, I want to pick up Iron Fist 14, a nice raw copy.
Shout out to Sean.
Shout out to my man Sean because he sold me a blazing hot smoking copy, an 8.5 CGC graded copy at a steal of a deal. I don't think I was as excited to get that Turtles #1 as I was when I got that Iron Fist.
Probably not.
I was so pumped about it.
Yep. Because that was the most expensive book I think you had bought to date.
Absolutely, 100%. And I wanted a raw copy because I like to buy raw copies in a grade that I think once I get it graded, it'll hit because it's cheaper.
Absolutely. It's 100% cheaper 9 times out of 10.
Absolutely. Now, this one's funny here because Nick's first book he said he wanted to pick up was Forever People #1. And he also mentioned in the video, I know where I can go pick one up right now. It's not a really expensive book. It's like $220, but it's one I definitely like to pick up. And he was really excited in the video. Yep. Were you able to get that book?
Thankfully to Dustin and the local comic shop owner Josh at Haven Comics. I was able to get that on my birthday. And my wife wrapped it up, made sure I had it to unbox. So
the exact copy he was talking about in the
very
goals
one,
video.
like every to the T, the exact book, everything. Beautiful copy, and to be honest with you, I looked at it again. I think I can press it and get it bumped.
Awesome.
So
awesome.
Super pumped there.
That's gonna come up again later. And it's another shout out to my man Sean because he actually AOK'd me a copy of Forever People #1 just a couple weeks ago.
He absolutely did. Sean's been a big blessing to you, man.
He has, absolutely. Now, you had more than I did here, so I'm going to hit another one for you. ASM 300. What happened, Nick?
You know, I still really love the character of Venom. I've been reading a lot of Venom throughout the year to kind of catch up on the history. That book, to me, just still seems outrageous.
Oh, it is. And it's funny that you go straight to Venom when talking about this book. Your reasoning in the 2020 goals video for wanting that book was you wanted to complete all of your Black Suit Spider-Man first appearance books.
Which I ended up actually selling a couple of those. I sold one to Rod for next to nothing.
Yep.
But yeah, actually that doesn't make sense now.
Yeah. So that's one that definitely is not really as important. It did blow completely up this year.
And I don't think it's undue, unworthy. It is. Venom's a huge character,
but
especially with what's going on.
It's crazy the prices.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure. All right, we're going to hit another one for you real quick. Venom #3, the first print. And we actually talked about in that video that the day we did this video, we had just been to Dave's Comics and Collectibles, and we let our buddy Logan pick it up. I found it. I was going to buy it, and I was like, well, I think Nick would rather have it. So I showed it to you, but you had a couple of other things in your hand.
I had the first Batman Who Laughs.
That's right.
But to me, I was like, it's a $30 book all day long.
He got it for $15.
I was going to say, $15, Venom #3.
Perfect condition.
Beautiful.
Man.
Still in the Mylar.
Yeah.
But
this was in December of 2019.
And he still won't sell it to us.
Yeah, and we had no idea what that book was going to do. All right, so I'm going to move on. I said...
Hold on, I didn't have Star Wars on the list?
You did not have Star Wars 1 on the list.
Wow.
Nope.
I'm shocked I did not have Star Wars number 1 on the list.
You sure didn't. Now, my next ones were Mighty Morphin Power Rangers issue 0. Now, I talked about the Shielded Red Ranger cover, the Comics Pro exclusive. It is 500 copies printed ever on that book.
Yeah.
It is the most expensive comic book in the Power Rangers run. I did not get that book because, honestly, it's just way too pricey for me for a Power Rangers book. And even though I'm a fan of those books in the franchise, I'm not that big a fan.
Is that the one Josh has?
He does not have that one.
Okay.
No, this is a very hard to find book. It comes up every now and then on eBay, but not very often.
Yeah.
Now, I also said I wanted the White Ranger issue 0, and I was able to acquire that. I bought a raw copy on Facebook. You guys can go back and search through our videos where I did the unboxing. It got destroyed in the mail. But my buddy, Comic Man Andy, he is a good friend of ours, and he's one of our subscribers too. He also makes great content, and he said this is not going to fly. He went on eBay, he purchased me a 9.8 copy, and he sent it to me. And man, that was so cool. I think that was my first AOK from YouTube.
I almost thought you were going to cry.
Yeah, I mean, since we started the channel, that was my first AOK, and it was a huge one, man, because it's not a cheap book.
No.
So I was super, super happy about that.
So we'll leave a link to Comic Man Andy's YouTube channel in the description. Check him out, his mail call videos.
Oh, great.
And if you love Saga, you don't actually love Saga as much as this man does.
There's no way. All right, Nick, so the next one you had was you said you wanted to finish picking up the rest of the Death in the Family issues.
Which I was able to do.
I know, and I actually was able to give you the last one you needed, I believe, the Joker cover. If you remember...
when you traded with Shane and Dustin?
Yep, I traded some stuff with Shane and Dustin. I was able to pick that up for you, so that was cool. I knew right away that you were able to get that one.
Yep, because I've actually bought the first one from Reggie Collects.
Yep, and you mentioned that in the 2020 goals.
Yep, absolutely. I did buy that one from Reggie.
All right, my last one for pickups was I wanted to finish my Mortal Kombat run.
Yep.
I thought I was close, but then after doing a little more digging, I realized I had a lot more to go. Now I have been able to pick up some more, including the biggest one of them all, that special edition.
Yep.
That was, I thought there was only the mail-out edition that you could get from Midway, but then I found out there's one that came in a video game magazine that was even harder to find, and I grabbed that one. It's at CGC right now. Fingers crossed it hits a 9.8. There's none on the census.
That would be incredible.
It would.
And it would be expensive.
Oh, yeah, because a 9.6 goes for like $500-600.
Man, so you know that's probably a $1,500, $2,000 book.
It's whatever I say it is.
Because you have the
I own the market on it if it comes back 9.8. You know what I'm
You
saying?
should just post it up on eBay for $10,000.
I mean, why not? You know, and everybody's thought I was crazy about the Mortal Kombat books, but you go to eBay, they're selling pretty good.
Yeah, they're pretty hot books.
So the last one, Nick, and this one is the one I think that is going to kind of tickle you a little bit more than the rest of them. You said you would like to pick up a omnibus, or a collected edition book.
Oh my
we
God.
were both talking about how much we were looking forward to trying to jump into reading Spawn because we just got done watching the animated series. We were picking up some of the figures, and you said you were like, man, I'd kind of like to try out an omnibus. I had just picked up my first one, and
the Planet
Hulk, and told you how much I was enjoying reading it that way. Nick, were you able to pick up an omnibus or a collected edition this year?
I think I picked up a couple.
I think you've almost moved towards only reading that way.
I bet you...
If we were not doing this show, I don't know how many. I don't know that you would even have a pull list right now.
No, I would definitely.
It would be very small.
It would be a smaller pull list. I still buy my books weekly. But absolutely, these collected editions, and I did a video on it. Yeah. Absolutely, between COVID, and what really did it was COVID.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pull lists were ceased to existing.
Yeah.
I think I started reading the Berserk Deluxe editions due to Jim Mint. Because I've always been a huge fan of anime and things like that. I was like, let's read it in the comics. And that led to another, which led to another. And now I've got all of those. Just had Volume 6 come in yesterday.
You picked up the Star Wars, the Avatar,
some Venom ones.
I've even picked up several. I picked up the IDW Volume 1 of Turtles. I picked up Volume 1 and 2 of the original Mirage Turtles. So I think that's something we both started really getting into a lot. And it's so much fun to read stuff that way because you don't have that time lapse where you forget what happened in the last issue.
And I've said this before to you and other people on several things. Even current runs, when you binge read, the stories are off. Even if you think the stories are lacking, read them once again in a binge session or via collected issues or whatever. The stories are going to be a different experience. 100%. And I've noticed that with a lot of New 52 Batman arcs I've been reading.
Yeah.
I've had some negative feedback from people that read it weekly when it came out. I'm reading them on the DC app.
Yeah.
But it's consistent, and I've loved them.
Yeah,
I've absolutely loved them. And shout out to the wife of the Why the Last Man for my birthday this year omnibus.
Just the wife? Just the wife?
Well, you told her what to get, but she bought it.
She did.
Thing's huge.
She hit me up and asked, and I was like, all right, look, there's 2 things to get him. He's going to buy this one anyway, but he's not going to buy this one. He's already told me he's going to wait, and it's not going to go on sale, so just get him that one.
It's probably only going to go up.
Yeah, so that was really good of her to grab that for sure. So two things on your list you got for your birthday from the family, so that was cool, man. Now we're going to get into personal goals here.
Okay.
My first one was I wanted to reduce my collection down to books that I really cared about, because at the time we were still kind of on that edge of still buying a lot of spec books and trying to go around and make sure we're not missing out. The FOMO was still heavy.
Hot.
And that was what I was getting at. Like I wanted to get rid of anything that I didn't absolutely feel like I really wanted. Now my collection has grown immensely.
I'm looking. I don't think you've sold anything. But you've changed the way you've been buying.
I absolutely have. I've amassed over 1,000 books in a year, and every one of them I love. I don't want to let any of them go. I don't care if it costs me a quarter. So I would say I definitely succeeded in that.
Yep.
Nick, you failed, sir.
I bet you I know what you're going to say.
You did not buy a press and teach yourself how to press yet, sir.
The year's not over.
The year's not over.
And the wife really wants a t-shirt press, which is the same thing you use for comics. I don't know if we'll buy one by the end of the year, but my wife told me 2 weeks ago, just buy a t-shirt press, Nick, because I know you want to press comics. She wants to use it for...
Yeah, and I know your wife's on board with it. My wife has actually mentioned as many times as I send books to get pressed for CGC. Yep. Is that something you think you could do? And of course, I really do. And so maybe this time next year, we're both able to press books. I mean, that would be something really cool, and it would be helpful for us to both learn together and kind of swap advice. So now the next one is going to be something we both said we wanted to do, and we both failed. We both failed.
I can't think of what it is.
Neither one of us bought a statue this year.
False.
Neither one of us have a statue in our house right now.
I got one on pre-order.
He's got one on pre-order.
Now, I did have, I'll tell the story, I did have a couple of Hot Toys pre-ordered.
Right.
One of them was the Venom pool.
Mm-hmm.
About the price of a statue.
Yeah.
Jim dropped his review. Mine hadn't shipped yet.
He kind of stole your thunder on that
Stole the thunder a little,
because that was your big thing. Like,
I was so pumped.
You couldn't wait to get it so you could do a full review, and then Jim Mint drops his video the week before yours ships.
Well, it hadn't, like, it was supposed to be shipping, but never got a notification. Yeah. So I'm like, well, dang, that sucks. And I wasn't gonna watch it because I didn't want to ruin my organic response to things. I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and watch it. Honestly, I'm thankful I did because it didn't look as good as I want it to be. So,
and I think we both decided Hot Toys is like, they're really cool, but they're not our thing.
They're not for us. And so what I ended up doing was reach out to Sideshow, canceled that one. I had a Darth Vader on pre-order too, canceled that one. They thankfully gave me a full refund. And I turned around and bought the Mandalorian Hot Toy, which was really cool. But that was my first Hot Toy. By the time this video drops, the review will have already dropped for that one. But I'm thankful I was able to see Jim's. And then it wasn't even his.
Right.
But it helped me out.
Right. And I've gotten into a lot of these high-scaled 6-inch figures. I bought the 1/4-inch Raphael. So we didn't get into statues, but we did get into figures and some more high-quality figures. So, I guess that would be a goal that we decided we're going to push this to the side and move in a different direction.
Because Justin Birch came on.
And ruined our lives.
Ruined everything.
Absolutely. Thanks, sir. We appreciate you.
And other people's. We get messages all the time.
Absolutely.
Justin, screw you. You ruined my life.
Absolutely.
We got one this week.
Yeah. Now, my last one, I don't think there's a goal I set this year that I am more proud of than this one here. It was a very heartfelt goal, and this was a goal that was outside of, not just with comics, but just in general.
Yeah.
I wanted to get to where I was managing my finances better, managing my money, budgeting better, so that if I wanted to buy a book, I didn't feel like I had to sell a bunch of other stuff I really loved just to buy something, because I was doing that for a long time. I would buy some cool books, and then I'd find something else I wanted, and I had to sell the ones I just bought to buy this one. So I wasn't able to actually collect. I was just like...
It was a cycle.
It was a bad cycle. And it wasn't just with comics. That was with a lot of things with me. And I'm telling you, like, I don't think financially I've ever had a year that has been so good for me.
Yeah.
My savings account looks great. I have not had to sell anything this year outside of what I had to sell to buy the Turtles #1, but that was on a whole nother level.
Yeah, that was.
I've never purchased a book for that much money, and I never will again. Like, let's just be honest. Like, I'm never gonna purchase. I can't fathom spending over what I spent on that for a book.
And I did something very similar with that Marvel Comics 1000.
You did.
I didn't. I didn't put a bunch of cash into it.
I would say though,
it was trade.
You trade, but you traded that one because you were disappointed with the signature and the grade.
Freaking Todd McFarlane ruined my life.
Freaking McFarlane, I'm telling you.
First off, came like not going on a tangent, but a 9.6 and couldn't even get a full signature. Yeah,
that book wasn't a 9.6 either.
No.
So I think overall, like that's the one thing I'm most proud about. I've been able to pretty much go out and purchase anything I've wanted this year and pay cash for it. And I haven't had to really worry about the repercussions of spending that kind of money. My wife has been fantastic and extremely supportive this year of anything that I've purchased. But at the same time, you know, I've done it within reason as well. So I think of all my goals, that's what I'm most proud to have achieved.
It's taken a long time to get there, but
It has. And honestly, how many times have I told you, like, I'll never be able to get my crap together good enough to be that way.
But you did it.
I did it. I finally did it.
We'll insert some applause there. All right, so what are we at next?
Last thing, let's talk about the channel goals. Now, so this is exciting.
Because we recorded all of these videos we're kind of been mentioning here lately pre-December.
So I can tell you right now, I've got it wrote here. Yeah. The day we recorded this, we mentioned in the video, we were less than 100 subscribers still when we recorded this video, and we thought we were doing great already.
Yeah, because
we were 1 month in.
Yeah, because what we planned is let's put out some content. We're not going to push the channel. We're not going to promote the channel. We're not going to market the channel.
Nobody's going to watch it anyway.
So we're just going to put some content out there because the number one advice, and if you're watching this and you want to start a channel, obviously we're not pros, but the number one thing I would tell you is just start. Yeah. That's what I told you and I, because we put it off for several months planning. Like, we just need to record some.
Yeah, and you know, we got some advice from Jim Mint early on. He told us, like, look, man, don't worry about your first few videos. And Perry told us the same thing. Your first few videos are going to suck no matter what you do.
I will tell you, that first local comic shop video was pretty good.
Yeah, it was, but compared to what we're doing now,
I
don't think it's in the ballpark. No. And you can't, and that's the cool thing, because once you start a year later, you can go back and look and see how much you've grown. Yep. And we're talking, you know, we've changed the way we do our videos. We've changed the kinds of videos. We've changed our displays, our setups.
The branding,
studios
everything.
Are completely different, and we're gonna get into everything else. But you know, I mean, I've pretty much got a full blown studio here. You have the same.
Yeah,
I've got two different places that I can record now. I mean, we've upgraded our cameras, all of our equipment. I mean, it's been great. So, the first one that I put was, I said I wanted us to do 150 videos from January to December. We have smashed that, dude. No contest there. Total TKO.
We're just about up to consistently 5 videos a week for almost the last 3 or 4 months now.
And that's not counting our Saturday Night Babble-on live streams.
So if you count that, we are consistently at 5, so almost 6 videos a week. That takes a lot of time and effort between the two of us.
Plus the Wednesday night live stream.
You've been kicking off. So
and the, you know, I'm not going to count the thousands of videos I've done on other people's channels. Yeah. I mean, we have absolutely crushed that one. So, very, very proud of that, man. Very proud of that. And this is not just tooting our own horns, but just a little bit, man. We're super proud of what we did here. So, Nick, your first channel goal hit 1,500 subscribers, and I thought you were crazy. I do believe
you told me off camera, like, that's not going to happen.
I believe I told you off camera, like, dude, could you please set a goal that we have a chance of achieving? And I was actually kind of upset that you even said that. Like, dude, you're setting us up for failure.
I'll take a picture of it on the whiteboard I bought in the office. I have it written at the bottom, circled, 1,500 subscribers, EOY 2020, end of year 2020. And
we're about to kick off our 2,000 subscribers giveaway that we're going to hit 2,000 before the end of the year, no doubt.
I'm pretty certain. I hope so. We will. As long as the PS5 release doesn't kill us, but I think we will.
Yeah. So awesome, man. We smashed that one.
And you told me off camera, dude, there's not a chance. But remember,
not a chance.
Before we started this, I said, don't get mad and frustrated if we don't grow fast enough. And then I go 1,500 subscribers, which is not, you know, it's not a huge channel, but for the first year and really the first 6 months.
Yeah, we're almost at 100,000 views in our first year. I mean,
shy, which I mean, it's, you know, a lot of small things, but you know, it means a lot.
To us, it's, and the reason why is because we had. I mean, we said it like when we started doing this, like probably nobody's gonna like. I honestly figured we would be done 2-3 months in. And that's why like we didn't buy anything fancy for anything, because we were like, let's just see if this is something that's even we can do, if anybody even watches, if
we could work well together that long.
Right. We didn't even have a clue how we were gonna get this content out in front of people, but we figured it out.
Yep, absolutely.
So, Nick, you said you wanted to work on us improving our production with our equipment, your editing techniques, getting better setups behind us. The graphics that we use for our intros and our outros, and I'll tell you right now, that has absolutely been. I mean, who's got better production than Nick with the editing skills? All of our bumpers we have, all of our Saturday Night Babble-on stuff, all of our thumbnails, all of our backgrounds. So Nick has absolutely destroyed that one. I mean, that was, and I knew,
and that's hundreds of hours teaching myself. Zero. I mean, you know, I do have a marketing degree and background.
Yeah.
But zero experience with editing. You know, all of those things, and that's hundreds of hours I spent teaching myself these things and really learning and trying to elevate.
Us having to work together on me knowing what to do and what not to do when I'm recording to make things easier for him, or you know, we have to work together to make the editing work, because if I do something that he can't get out, or you know, like there's a lot that goes into that, and I think we've definitely, if you look back at the videos we were doing a year ago, it's not even the same.
Well,
ballpark.
What's funny is I still think back to our first local comic shop day unboxing, and I thought that, I mean, it still looks decent.
Yeah, I was stiff in that video.
But you were stiff, but it looked like the quality of the video looked good. But I still think, I was like, hey, we're gonna set up this shot and this shot and this shot, and I missed the biggest shot out there of you actually pulling stuff out of the box. And one of the first comments were like, you didn't take, like, and I'm like, oh, Jesus. But we still, you know, at that point, we still had the logo where it was podcast, news, and sales at the bottom, because we were going to do a podcast, which, you know, it's something maybe we'll do.
Yeah, I'm still throwing around the idea of doing the podcast. I've been working on getting everything set up for a couple months now. Not super hard, but just looking into like where I want to set it up and all, and how to get into that. But we're gonna see.
And we were doing sales on the Facebook side,
and we started. And
we decided,
to completely put all our focus here.
Yep.
And I think that's paid off tremendously for us.
Absolutely.
Now the last one, we both pretty much had the same goal here, to create connections within the community. And when I say the community, I mean the comic book community as a whole, not just with YouTube, but creators, with the publishers. You know, different branding opportunities, making connections with sponsorships and stuff like that. And I think we have really done well with that. We have made a great connection, and now we have an official partnership with Mad Cave Studios. We 616 Comics. BCW is sponsoring our channel now.
And not to mention Haven Comics.
Back-to-back comics. You know, it's Killer Finds was huge for us in the beginning of the year too. I mean, it's really been awesome, not to mention all the other fellow creators that we work with all the time.
And I think that's what, I mean, let's be realistic. That's what really helped us at the beginning.
Absolutely.
Once we decided in January, we're going to push the channel. It's going to happen. We have some content. Let's make it. Because we really, even though late November, early December was technically our 1 year first upload, you know, we really didn't push the channel until January.
Yeah, because I said, I was sitting here at the house on New Year's Eve night, and we pretty much decided we both weren't doing anything. We're like,
I said, we're going to hit to 100.
I said, let's get 100 tonight. We were like, let's do this. And you were like, all right, I think we can. And I was like, or you mentioned it, I think. And I was like, all right, yeah.
So I got recorded a video, put it to Instagram, I think. But
I started pushing it on Facebook, Instagram. We did a giveaway, and we hit 100 by the next morning.
Yep, it was
and
awesome.
Once we did that, we were like, okay, now we know what we're doing a little bit.
We felt, could you add 100 subscribers? Man,
y'all couldn't tell us. Y'all ain't gonna tell us nothing.
We were gonna be bigger than Jim Mint.
I was sitting, Jim who? we out here with 100 subs, homie. Tell me about Jim Mint.
We talking about Comics Explained? Who?
Yeah, Bueller. You talking about the old movie?
But there's so many people. But again, early on, like right then at that moment, I think the Big Will, I think the Rod.
Absolutely. I actually mentioned here in this channel, in this video, that I was talking to Steve. I didn't even mention his name.
Berkey Burke and the Berkey Bunch.
Yeah, saying, we're thinking about trying to do a collaboration, and I wasn't sure it was going to happen. Of course, that spiraled into the Thursday night chats that we did there. I mean, we've made great connections all around with those guys. We've made great connections with Bueller.
I tell you, Bueller, man.
Bueller's been a great help to our channel. Jim Mint's been a fantastic help for our channel. He actually reached out and had me come on and help him do an interview with Kyle Higgins. That was awesome. I enjoyed that. And I mean, so many creators out there.
Yeah, we can't name them all, but just the community as a whole, we truly appreciate it. And, now all of our members really helping us push forward.
Yep, absolutely.
I mean, it's just, it's incredible. And every time I put out a thank you, I always make sure, it's a humble thank you because we are truly humbled.
It's still crazy to both of us that people would
support us at that level.
Yeah. I mean, there's no way this time last year, if you would have, when I had a raggedy, wrinkled sheet hanging behind me.
Oh, you did, boy, and that still bothers me.
Oh yeah, me too. Raggedy, wrinkled sheet hanging behind me on a TV stand, that I would have thought we would be sitting here with this fantastic setup that I built, drinking some coffee, talking about our 2020 goals recap and how we have crushed everything we put our minds to. Congratulations, Nick. We did a great job, man. I can't wait to see what 2020 holds.
I think it's going to be 2021.
That's right. 2020, it was a crappy year altogether, but we definitely pulled some good things out of it.
Yeah, it was definitely, I think it helped kind of pass the time, go through all the terrible things. And
yeah. I can't wait to see what 2021 holds for Two Brothers Comics.
Well, I think we have the right plan in place. I think we have the right ideas. Now it's just
putting them into practice.
Execute. We're sitting in the same place we were this time last year, right? I think honestly, truly, we had an idea, we had a concept. It was to execute.
Yeah.
Now we've got a year under us. We have new ideas. Our production level's increasing. We're trying to think outside of just unboxings and things like that.
We're about to try to move into
true entertainment.
Right. Absolutely changing and shifting our channel in another realm of this the same idea.
Oh yeah, because at the core we're not going to change Two Brothers Comics.
Right. It's all about the comic content. It's all about that original concept is going to stay true. But we're about to shift gears.
And I think it's going to be a good thing. I truly I'm excited about it. It's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of learning new things.
Yep.
The production, some of the equipment's going to have to improve, but I think
we can do it.
We have the ability. So now it's just now time to execute.
Yep.
So I have a couple weeks off in December. I'm going to be focusing a lot of time on polishing up a few things. We've been working on the back end of things. So
I'm going to probably try to take some vacation time, and maybe we can work on a couple of these things together. I think that'll help.
So I'm excited, guys.
Well, man, 2020 is over. Good
Shout
job.
out to Folgers Coffee for the officially.
That's right.
Not cold brew or eggnog, but
that's right. If you thought 2020 was a great year for Two Brothers Comics, you haven't seen anything yet. We can't wait to take you guys on this awesome ride through 2021. Thank you guys so much for always supporting us, being the best part of Two Brothers Comics.
And as always,
collect your way.